Hello, I did warn you. Chorus, May 17th. There was an old frog and he lived in the spring. Ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. He was so hoarse that he could not sing. Ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. Ching-a, doro, war, me high, me low, me rumpside, pull, maddle, penny, winkle, soap, butt, link, horn, nip, cat, ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. I took him by the leg and I pulled him out. Ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. He hopped, he jumped, he sprang all about. Ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. Doro, war, me high, me low, the rumpside, pull, maddle, penny, winkle, soap, butt, link, horn, nip, cat, ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. A big fat rat and a bucket of sows. Ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. Take them up to the big white house. Ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. Doro, war, me high, me low, me rumpside, pull, maddle, penny, winkle, soap, butt, link, horn, nip, cat, ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. Cheese in the spring house, 9 days old. Ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. Rats in the skipper's house are getting mighty cold. Ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. Doro, war, me high, me low, me rumpside, pull, maddle, penny, winkle, soap, butt, link, horn, nip, cat, ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. Bread and cheese sitting on the shelf. Ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. If you want any more, you gotta sing it yourself. Ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. Doro, war, me high, me low, me rumpside, pull, maddle, penny, winkle, soap, butt, link, horn, nip, cat, ching-a, chang-a, polly, mitch-a, cow-me-o. I love it when it all gets automatic like that, when you can kind of do it in your sleep. Well, now that lockdown is easing, I'm going to do this session and one more next week, and then we're going to stop for a while. And if lockdown starts again, then so do we. These last two sessions, I'm going to do contemporary songs about topical issues. I was born in 1935 and spent my childhood and my teenage years in Washington, D.C., which was, like the rest of the South, highly segregated. The buses were segregated, restrooms, eating joints were segregated. Some of them even had signs on the front that said "No coloreds allowed," as if all the so-called whites were like blank pieces of paper. If someone came to work, clean in your house, do your yard, clear the garbage, sweep the streets, they were nearly always brown or black. This is a song that was written by David Arkin in 1951. There were pictures of the Ku Klux Klan lynchings in Life magazine. I mean, this was my childhood. This is what I grew up with. So this is the Klan song. The countryside was cold and still. There was a cross upon the hill. That cold cross wore a mask of blood to hide its rotten heart of wood. Oh, Father, I hear the iron sound of hoofbeats on the frozen ground. Now over the hill the riders came. Jesus, it was a crying shame to hear the snarl upon their lips, to see the blood upon their whips. Oh, Mother, I feel a stabbing pain. Blood flows down like the summer rain. Each one wore a mask of white to hide his cruel face from sight, and each one sucked a little breath out of the empty jaws of death. Oh, sister, hold my bleeding head it's so lonesome to be dead. Now he who travels with the clan is a monster, not a man. For beneath that cruel white disguise, I have gazed into his eyes. Oh, brother, won't you stand with me? It's not easy to be free. Extraordinary song. Dateline. 1948, the Windrush arrives, packed with Caribbean immigrants. I arrived in 1956. I was an immigrant, but not a true immigrant until I swore allegiance to the Queen in 1959. Later, Indians came, Pakistanis, and people from Africa, and they brought with them to this grey, cold, damp island, they brought colour. Colourful food, colourful songs, dances, and colourful clothing. But the racist thing had started by then, and I wrote this song because I just loved what they brought with them. I call it Hello Friend. Hello friend, I see you're a stranger, where do you come from? Hello friend, something in your face reminds me of the sun, but the northern light is thin against the darkness of your skin. Hello friend, I'm glad that you could come. When you talk, I hear the echo of the places you have been. When you walk, colors all around you fluttering in the wind. When I listen to your song, I feel you really do belong. Am I the stranger, the one who's just come in? Did you find new friends to help you? Can you earn a living here? Do you mind the smoke and grime around you and the warning loud and clear? Or did your troubles just begin with the color of your skin? Never mind, I'm glad to see you here. Did you come to climb a mountain and end up in a hole? Have you won the right to join our people signing on the dole? Can you be happy here amid suspicion and the fear? Or will you run and never more return? Hello friend, all of us are strangers in this green and pleasant land. Once again, battle ranks are forming and we need a helping hand. Yours the fear and ours the shame, but our goal is just the same. In the end, this will be our native land. You know, we always seem to need something to be against, something that, I'll bet you on Mars, where the blue people and the green people are all doing the racist thing, I'll bet the blue people lie in the sun so they can turn green. I'll bet they do. I forgot what I was going to do next. I need the guitar for it. I came through decades and decades of activist singers, and most of the activist singers were men, and they were leaving home, leaving their families at home, and coming away to sing about various issues. I wrote this for my brother Pete's wife, Toshi, who was always at home when Pete was away, and he was away a lot. called Left Wing Wife. When the phone began to ring, her hands were in the dishes, her feet were in her slippers, and her head was full of wishes. She sighed and dried her hands and took the baby from its cot, lifted the receiver, but the call had given up. She changed the baby's nappy, put the dinner on, and then put the garbage out, the laundry, and when the phone began again, she quickly ran to answer it and tripped over the toys scattered round the kitchen by her tribe of little boys. She lay there in a daze upon the kitchen floor. She thought about the fighters who get up and come back for more. She thought about her sanity and the book that she was writing. The phone continued ringing and the kids had started fighting. She never reached the phone 'cause the baby started crying. Dinner started burning, it was time to do the ironing. But once again the phone began. May I speak to Earl? My husband isn't home. He's gone out to save the world. The oppressed, the underprivileged, the exploited and the needy. If you see him, tell him, come on home. His dinner's ready. Toshi was intrigued by that. She says, I don't have boys, a tribe of boys. Yeah, I said, you got all those people who come up the hill to see Pete. So this is the last song of the set. For songwriting people, this is what I call a wedge song. Back when I made it up in 2001, it was already a recycled song. The tune had been used for a song called Time to Be Moving On to celebrate Lenny Sitnick, the Asheville mayor, who was moving on to doing something else. So I recycled it by making a whole new set of words. Wedge songs, at that time I was singing mostly for folk music audiences, and they didn't necessarily want to hear about the burning issues. So a wedge song gives you something nice to sing, and you start in singing it thinking it's about one thing, and then it turns out you've been wedged into singing about something else. So it's called Time to Be Moving On. Pretty little baby just been born, time to be moving on. Wakes up smiling every morning, time to be moving on. Learns how to think, how to use its hands, a girl or a boy, then a woman or a man. The next thing you know, it's the promised land. A time to be moving, 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 time to be moving on. Water in the bucket, it's halfway full, time to be moving on. The cart's too heavy and the horse can't pull, time to be moving on. Add more drops till it's full to the top, put your shoulder to the wheel, then the cart won't stop. Every little body gotta do their part. A time to be moving, 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 time to be moving on. Turn out the lights when they're not in use, time to be moving on. Don't buy plastic, raise your own produce, time to be moving on. Cycle with your legs, make your dinner in a pan, recycle every darn thing you can. Sell the SUV and buy a little van. The time to be moving, 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 time to be moving on. Choose your issue and choose your place, time to be moving on. Choose your level and choose your pace, time to be moving on. The ship's in trouble, needs a brand new crew. Old Mother Earth needs me and you. She'll welcome any little thing we do. A time to be moving, 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 time to be moving on. The ocean's rising and the wells run dry, time to be moving on. President Trump says it's all a lie, time to be moving on. When you're on the team and you refuse to play, there's bound to be a judgment day. The world may sue the USA. The time to be moving, 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 time to be moving on. No use pretending that we don't know how. Time to be moving on. Tomorrow's too late, the time is now. Time to be moving on. Hello to the greens, goodbye to the blues. Walk a mile in a polar bear's shoes. There's heaven to gain, the earth to lose. Time to be moving, moving, moving. Time to be moving on. Time to be moving, moving, moving. Time to be moving on. This is an auto harp, by the way. I don't play it very well anymore. My hands won't do it. There's some brilliant players of it. I also don't use it much on these programs because it doesn't record well. It tends to just take over the whole scene. And I don't play the concertina, which is over there on the piano, because literally it fills the room. Maybe at some point I'll play a solo on it. Anyway, next week you'll need your concentration. I have an idea what I want to do, and there'll be contemporary songs again. Meanwhile, there's one certainty, that is that the sun will shine or it will rain. It'll either be bright or grey. Take your choice and keep safe.